Hi folks, it's time to get cracking, and it's a bad pun, but you'll get to know why. We're going to be doing an egg recipe, and it's going to be something hopefully you'll enjoy. It's going to be more or less omelette-ish. Myself, I'm going to be doing it with goat cheese, but you guys can do it with cow cheese or any other cheese that you'd like to have. You'll need 6 eggs of whatever type that you want, be brown, white, or free range, or any of those that you prefer. You'll need 1 habanero pepper. You'll also need various other spices that you want to throw in. I'm going to be adding in turmeric, some salt, some pepper, and that's pretty much it in that regard. Possibly some onion salt or onion powder. I'm going to be making with that potatoes, but they're going to be zesty potatoes, and because I want to cheat in this one, we're going to be using the canned variety. I'll show you in a moment if I have any. It's a no-name brand that you can buy. For me, it's over at the superstore. It's going to be a can of these sliced potatoes, but you can buy small potatoes over at your supermarket and wash them, cut them into slices, parboil them so that you can actually cook them in the pan quicker, or cook them the night before in the oven, just so that you can actually puncture them with a knife or a fork and it goes through without any resistance. Then you put them in the fridge and you use second-hand potatoes. It's even better. I haven't done that because this came upon me, like most of my experiments come last moment. With that, you'll need, for the potatoes, you'll need whatever you want to use. Myself, it's just going to be this, salt, and half a lime or a full lime, depending on the size of the lime. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and paprika. I'm going to be using, not paprika, but cayenne pepper for the potatoes. It's going to be hot all around, but a different type of hot. And trust me, it'll be delicious. Make sure that you use oil of your own choice. I'm going to be using olive oil. Sesame oil might be good for the potatoes, but preferred for the meat than actually veggies. So folks, get your stuff together. I'm bringing out mine, and we'll continue this in a few moments. Now, I've always sharpened my knife, my habanero pepper, as usual. Don't touch your face, don't touch anybody's naughty bits, and get the seeds out unless you really want it spicy. For me, I always take the seeds out. That's where the capsaicin seems to be the more potent, if you will. I can smell the pepper coming from this one. Whoo! This one's going to be a doozy. I love peppers. I just don't like their seeds. And somebody mentioned that I have an obsessive-compulsive disorder for seeds. No, I just don't like seeds. There is such a thing as not being compulsive, obsessive, just being prudent. Okay. As usual. Now, this one will want it in small bits. Okay, so you'll start off by slicing them into slices like this. And then you can bunch your slices together and try to not mince it, but close. Just smaller bits. As small as you can make them. If you have to do the same thing as the Godfather did in one of the Godfather movies, or was it Goodfellas, where I think it was Goodfellas, where one of the guys actually was in the slammer doing time for a crime he committed, and he was cutting garlic with a razor blade, a safety razor blade, and he was cutting it so thin you could actually see through the garlic. Well, you could do this with that, but I don't recommend it. This you're not going to mix with your egg, by the way, so you keep it aside until you're ready to use it, because we're going to give it a quick fry in some hot oil to bring out some of its flavor. And some of the pepper, just something quick. It won't be anything major. I completely forgot. I forgot to put my green bags. Well, that's okay. Now we're finished with this. We move on to the eggs. I'll wash my hands before I actually end up getting my face. I don't want to be teary-eyed. There's nothing like having mace in your face while you're trying to cook. Evil sensation. There we go. And the wash need to dry them. And we're moving on to that bit. Now this you'll reserve for later, and by the way, the limes I'm going to be using are a little lime called key limes. For those that live in Key Lime, Florida, this is your lime. I'm using it because it has less juice and it'll have a more potent kick in the cooking. So you'll want to crack your eggs, and I always crack it using a butter knife, the back of it, and you don't go smashing into it. I always tap it. Reduces the amount of eggshells gone flying, and then the rest you can open up with your hands. I'm using brown eggs because that's all I had. I'm usually an omega-3 eggman or a free-range eggman, depending on what's available. I recommend free-range eggs for those that love eggs, for the simple fact that the chickens are kept in better conditions. Happier conditions is possibly the best way of putting it. I shouldn't say better conditions necessarily, but they're happier. They're less stressed. The eggshells don't come out as thin as this. And their egg is higher in nutritional value, at least in protein value. Energy and the whole kit and caboodle that eggs tend to provide. Okay, that's done. This in the sink. Rule number 1 of cooking: try not to keep a messy counter or a messy kitchen. When you're actually cooking, as you finish using something, put it away. Okay, a little bit of turmeric, and I do mean a little bit. 2-3 shakes. A little bit of ginger. And this is sea salt, not regular iodine salt. That much salt, just to say that you give it some taste. And milk, up to you to really put milk in. I'm just going to put a smidge, about a 1/4 cup. And then you need a whisk. Actually, this is a little bit too big for a whisk. It's taking up the whole space of it. I know I have a smaller one here. There we go. Whisk. This one's better. And you mix it until your eggs, milk, and the dry ingredients that you've added into it are all one homogeneous blob.